This week, Peloton announced their newest way to be able to work out on both the Bike and Bike Plus through a new game that they are calling Lane Break. So today I'm going to be showing you just how you can access Lane Break, exactly what it is, and I will be giving my opinions on how I think this is going to shape the fitness world, and particularly Peloton moving forwards. But of course, before we get into today's video, I just want to give a big thank you to absolutely everyone who has subscribed thus far. It has been quite a journey and I am very, very close to 2,000 subscribers. So if you take a look down there and that button is still red, then please do give it a click. It means the absolute world to me and it helps me out a ton. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump over to the Peloton bike behind me there. This works for both the Bike and the Bike Plus, but for my example, I'll be using the original one. Let's go ahead and I will show you just how you can access Lane Break. From your Peloton bike screen, you can simply access your profile, and you'll see it as you normally would. Along the button, you have a More section. Clicking there brings you up 3 options: Just Ride, Scenic Ride, and of course Lane Break. If you don't see Lane Break right now, then don't worry too much. This is still in a very much staggered state, so you should be receiving it over the next few days. To launch it, all you need to do is tap. It really is that easy, and the application will launch in the background. Before we get into one of the rides behind me here, let's actually talk about what Lane Break is. Well, when I was a kid, I absolutely adored the Guitar Hero series. It was a range of rhythm games that had you playing along to the music. Well, this is Peloton's answer to a rhythm game. It's very much you riding along to the music and being split up into different lanes. Each lane is a different resistance level based upon the difficulty that you've chosen. Simply riding through the blue blocks gives you points, and you'll also have green and orange sections. The orange sections will have you overcharging, basically spinning up your cadence as high as you can, whereas the green zones will have you sit within a set cadence range, normally between 70 and 90, or somewhere in between. You'll be gaining points as you go through, and you can also overcharge these orange zones, going from 100 to 200%. At the end of the ride, you'll be scored out of 100% and also given a score on the leaderboard. And this is where things get fun and competitive. There are a ton of different styles of ride that you can do, from a couple of David Bowie rides to rock rides to hip hop. So there is always going to be something here that will tickle your fancy, no matter what your musical tastes. So let's jump in and I will walk you through one of the rides and how you actually play this. For copyright reasons, I'm probably going to have to mute it and do some kind of voiceover because we all know YouTube absolutely hates copyrighted music. So let's go ahead and do one of the shorter rides and I'll show you just how you can play Lane Break. So what we can see on the screen right now is just some of those workouts that we can do, and they range in time from 10, 15, 20 and even 30 minutes. For now I'm going to do one of the shorter 15-minute rides, and I think Rock Ride is right up my street. So tapping that, we're going to see a list of the songs that are in this ride, as well as the leaderboards if we choose to look at them. So let's take a look there and see the scores that I've got to beat. So in first place we have someone who has a score of 148,000 points. I think I can beat that, so let's hit play, and we can see a range of difficulties from beginner, intermediate, advanced and expert. Each of these will give you a different cadence range to try and hit. Now this is pretty deceiving. I normally play on advanced and that is really tough, even for me, and I like to think I'm fairly good at riding, particularly with the Peloton. So for now, let's jump into intermediate. So here we are in the game, and it looks very Tron-esque, with all your lanes in front of you. As you're seeing, I'm flying straight through those blue ones, overcharging in the orange zones, and keeping my cadence within those green zones. It really is that simple. Just twisting that resistance knob will get you changing lanes, and it may not feel massively intuitive at first, but trust me, it gets easier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip to the end of the ride so we can talk a little bit more about scoring and how that works. Okay, so I've completed my workout now and we have this results screen. showing me that I completed about 93% of this ride. About 99% of those blue ones I hit. My cadence zones I really could have done better on. I only hit 54 on that. So if you overdrive all of them to 200%, that's how you're going to hit that 100% rating. And in terms of keeping my cadence within a certain range, I did fairly well there. Overall, I ranked 67 out of 375, so I feel like that's a pretty respectable score overall. Sorry if I sound a little out of breath, that is because I am very out of breath. These rides absolutely take it out of you, because you're fighting against yourself. All you're wanting to do is get that score higher and higher each time. So I can see my main score in the middle there, 140,000. Now I suspect as you go up in levels, so from medium, intermediate to advanced, that score will also advance. So when you're seeing these really high scores on those scoreboards, that's probably because they did it on the highest difficulty. So let's continue. And we have this short survey to take at the end as to how you got on. You can simply just ignore that survey if you desire, or you can give that feedback and it will help them to better produce more rides for you and us. So there we have it. Let's head back to me, slightly less sweaty and worn out, to do a full review, and I can break down exactly what I think of Lane Break. Okay, so I've had a shower and I've had a little bit of time to relax, rest, and really digest exactly what Lane Break is, and I've got a few thoughts on it. So straight away, I absolutely love this. I genuinely do believe that this is probably going to be my go-to workout session from now on, for a couple of reasons. Mainly because sometimes I simply don't feel in the mood to be working out with an instructor, telling me exactly what to do and pushing me. It can sometimes be a little bit distracting. Whereas if I'm within this game, it is me versus me. I'm finding my own motivation to keep going and keep pushing just to hit those high scores. The game itself is incredibly intuitive and actually very easy to pick up and play. At first it can feel a little strange to get that resistance level just right to move between lanes. They do have to be very small adjustments. If you adjust too much or too little, you're going to find that you're just simply missing the lanes. But this does come with time, so give yourself 3 or 4 different games and you'll find that you really do get used to it. The difficulty curve is excellent here as well. It feels very, very well balanced. The beginners is perfect for beginners, and as you start to go up, there is a little bit of a challenge there, but it's enough to feel like you're working out, but not so much that it does feel impossible. Graphics wise, I'm actually very impressed. This thing is basically just running off of an Android tablet on the Peloton bike. It looks fairly good. Obviously it could look better if the hardware was a little better, particularly with the cadence ranges. I did find it a little bit difficult to actually understand just the cadence range I was meant to be in before I got there. Overall though, in terms of its usability and how much fun it is, I think it ticks both of those boxes. However, there's still some development to do here. There are a few things that I think Peloton dropped the ball on, and it could make this an absolute game changer, if you'll pardon the pun. The biggest thing that both I and many other people in the Peloton community have noticed is this would be so much better if it had live multiplayer. If you could go to your friends who also own a Peloton bike and invite them to a race. And what this basically does is you play your normal lane break, but against other people. You see them and you see their scores and their bikes going up over time. This really would push me and motivate me to keep going just that little bit faster, to just stay ahead of that one friend who might be a little bit too cocky. Alongside this as well, I'd love to see a way to be able to have our own playlists. This is something that Vaha and many of the Peloton's other competitors already do with their workouts, but I think Lane Break is a perfect place to do this. Allow us to play our own playlists or import them, and have some kind of algorithm that can run in the background and work out the beats and add those blue, orange and green ranges based upon where they need to be. Obviously this is a pipe dream, this may never happen, but I think it would be perfect because some of those playlists, though have some good music, are not always up my street, and I'm going to be honest, I work best when I'm working out with my own music. So, Overall, what do I think of lane break? I genuinely think this is going to be my go-to workout, and I think everyone should at least give it one try, because you never know, you might find that you absolutely fall in love with this, much like I did and many other people in the Peloton community. With a few of those changes, including the live multiplayer and the ability to play our own songs, it could be something truly revolutionary, and I cannot wait to see what Peloton does with it in the future. So what do you think of lane break? Let me know in the comment section down below, and of course, get subscribed and like and do all of that good stuff. It helps me out a ton. If you want to see more Peloton related content, then do let me know, and of course, my name's been Robert. This has been Review Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.